father a curse on his people, betraying his family in search of the truth, awakening the evil behind the curse. Now they must race to save their people, or die trying.
What's up, George? What's going on in the House of Crates tonight?
Oh, you know, I'm just here reading comics. One in
can't
particular is
read?
called TechniGods by Michael Samartino and his crew of co-creators. We have them next, Ali Pepe and Robert Flanagan. So let's get it.
Let's do it!
We are the only show for independents all around, giving you a platform to spread your word all over town. Catch the Craze is the place to promote to your fans with the Dreamer, Medina, and Sam the Crazy Man. Subscribe to our show and never miss an episode. It's time to get your mans, listen to us on the go. Updated every week, we've never missed a day. Join the squad, come on in. It's time to catch the Craze. If you are an independent, catch the Craze. Making moves on your own, catch the Craze. On your grind in the streets, catch the Craze. Join the movement, catch the Craze.
Yeah, George, we did it again. Come on now. You know you want to do it. Catch the Craze. Welcome to Catch the Craze Podcast. I am your host with the most, Sam the Crazy Man Vera, and I am with
George, the Dreamer, Medina. What's happening, Sam? What's happening?
Yo, it's been a hell of a day. Hell of a day. What the hell? Look at this beard, bro. Look at these grays, bro. Look at these grays.
That's awesome. That is
And the grays are growing on one side. I don't understand it. All this face, and it decides to go on this spot right here. Crazy.
You know, hey, listen, you can't control that.
¿Qué
But
pasa
what we can
con mi
control
cara?
what we can't control is saying hello to everybody out there in YouTube land. Welcome everyone to another exciting episode of Catch the Craze. Tonight we are very excited because we have a friend of the show. We've never met him before in person,
Right.
but we are going to be interviewing him today for the first time, and that is Michael Samartino. He's one of our guys that's always in the chat, always making us laugh with his crazy antics.
Word.
And so he's on a show tonight. He's got a crew, though, because he's not by himself.
Squad.
He's got a book called TechniGods.
Rolling deep.
TechniGods.
TechniGods.
Yeah. And so he's got Ali Pepe and Robert Flanagan, who are also the co-creators of this book. Can't wait to talk to them and, dive into the creation of this book. I saw your What's in the Box today. And if anybody missed it, go to the channel. You know, obviously you need to subscribe to the channel.
Yes.
Hit like button,
Subscribe.
comment, all that stuff.
Yes.
But yeah, Sam's got a What's in the Box, and he featured the TechniGods. And you have a real beef with Mr. Cliff Range.
Oh, he's a punk. He's a punk. That sucker decided when it went down, he went.
I'm like, yo,
He was
what's
out.
the beef?
Oh, he's a punk. I was
His
like,
character
yo.
development, brother.
But
It's called, character
They
arc,
built
you
him
know?
up. He's the
Character arc.
guy, half breed. He's gonna take us to the promised land. And that boy,
Listen.
when he saw them coming, he's like,
Bro.
He's like, nap.
In all fairness, okay,
Yeah, fair this.
the very first page says he is not a hero. It tells you from the jump,
Obviously,
the man is not a hero.
Yes,
so you should not have expected anything.
he's
from
not a
this man.
hero, but he's gonna lead us to the promised land.
Hey, listen,
Yo, it's like what?
dude. I mean,
Nah, I'm not going to war with that guy. Yo,
there are twists and turns in this story. There are twists and turns.
no.
But We'll talk to the crew.
Yes.
We'll find out what the deal is behind these characters. And for those who are watching and have no idea what the heck we're talking about, TechniGods is a comic book by our guests tonight. And if you are interested in picking up the book, you can go to their website right now. Go to TechniGods.com and pick up a copy of the book.
Links in the summary. Links in the summary.
There you go. So, even easier. The first 2 issues are out now. They were kind enough to send us a couple of copies of the first issue. It's one of 6, so it looks like it's a limited series.
It's definitely a page turner. It definitely makes you want to know what happens next. So that's what I appreciate about the story. It kept me entertained. And any story that gets me pissed off, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. I was like, that boy's a chump.
You were in your feelings.
He's not going to be in my foxhole. But no. Go to the other guy. No.
Damn, wow.
Yo, because you have beef and you go. And it's supposed to be back to back, right? So you're surrounded by the enemy back to back. So I want to know that my back's protected. We go back to back, and I turn around. He's on the floor. What are you doing? He's like, not me.
You're projecting things that happened to you in your past. You have been left alone in the heat of battle.
Yes.
And so right now you're angry about the fact that did happen to you.
That he's a punk.
And Cliff
is a punk.
Just is the manifestation of those people that left you behind.
Cliff is a punk.
But I am sure that there's a reason why Cliff, there's
Chump
a really
Master
cool
Flex.
flashback scene in the book where it kind of tells you that he's gone through some stuff. So there's stuff in this guy's, closet that's coming out. So
see, he's lucky that she didn't kick his ass while he was on the floor. Because I was like, mother, get your up. What are you doing down there? They're coming. Yeah, and they're coming fast and furious. They were taking his boys apart, and he's sleeping. He's sleeping about the movie he watched last night.
Dude, look at his face. That's like a man who's been through some stuff. Look at his eyes. His eyes tell
You know
a
what
story,
he is? Man. He is the opposite of Viejo.
Yo, Viejo and Cliff, they could have a little crossover.
Cliff is Viejo's younger brother that just doesn't have the cojones. That's who he is.
Cliff and Viejo, bro.
Yeah,
but speaking of Viejo,
yes.
Okay, he will be back.
Yes.
Next month,
yes.
right? November 1st.
November 1st.
Something big is happening November 1st. Sammy, let them know what it is.
Something
in case
big
they don't
is
already
happening.
know.
It's going to happen very soon, man. Very soon. And you're going to like it, man. So, Forbidden is launching November 1st on Kickstarter and Indiegogo. It's a double whammy from Sammy. It's amazing.
Double whammy.
Yes, double whammy. Here we come. And it's going to be awesome. It's 32 pages, this issue. Plus, you also, if you didn't pick up Forbidden issue 0 and 1 in the first 2 campaigns, you can get it all collected in the first volume of the Forbidden series. And so we introduced a new artist. His name is Primate Santra. Kick butt. Barbara Seguri is killing it with the colors. George the Dreamer Medina did the lettering. He killed it. Anibal Arroyo's done the cover. I got the homage cover. And we have a guest artist with John Kosis doing a variant cover. I will debut the finished product on the live launch. Plus, we're doing a crossover promotion between Forbidden and Tragedy by Philip Russert. And so I did the piece, the pinup, that's going to be available. If we get to 75 backers, everybody will get it, the digital copy. If we get to 100, everybody will get a physical copy. And the same thing on Philip Russert's campaign. So join us November 1st for the live launch. And again, if you're an Indiegogo or Kickstarter fan, we're launching simultaneously on both platforms just for you. So, I'm excited. So please sign up today if you haven't done so already. I will put the links in the chat. Join the cause. Support this indie creator right here. Let me see. I'm going to do Indiegogo first. Well, here's the Indiegogo. And where is it? Oh, Johnny Syphex in the audience. What's up, Johnny?
What up, player?
I thought he was missing in action. I haven't heard from Johnny in a minute. That's the Indiegogo, and this is the Kickstarter link. So you can pick your poison, whichever floats your boat. But support your brother and sign up to Forbidden on Kickstarter. It's going to be big. My goal is to get to 100 backers or more. So I need your help to do that.
Combined or in each?
It would be nice if it was, if I get 100 on Kickstarter and 50 on Indiegogo, I break a record on both campaigns.
Nice. Well, also there's an incentive to beat out one or the other, right? Because you have don't you have like a pinup or something, like something that happens if you get more people that pledge on Kickstarter, they get something. If you get more people from Indiegogo, they get something. Isn't that what's
We're
happening?
We're going to announce it live on the live launch November 8th, 8 p.m.
Nice.
November 1st, 8 p.m. Eastern
All right,
Standard
cool.
Time.
More to come. More to come. Details will be given to you then. Big shout out to Johnny Syfax. Yeah, man, I'm back. I did not sit in Charles Dickens' chair because I would have gotten arrested. But yeah, no, it was a cool trip. I'll tell you all about it when we chat. But yeah, that was a very good trip. I'm happy to be back. But yeah, I'm missing the good old jolly England. It was a good time. It was definitely a good time.
Yeah, it sounds like it was pretty dope.
Yeah, no, it was cool. But yeah, dude, so November 1st, we have the launch of Kickstarter, and then, the launch of Forbidden on Kickstarter and Indiegogo. And it's going to be the week of Forbidden, because on Wednesday we have our live show, and we'll be talking more Forbidden on the live show.
Yes.
So there's a lot. There's a lot going on at the beginning of November.
Yeah.
It's going to be an exciting time, and hopefully you guys jump on board and continue the saga of Forbidden. We're up to issue number 3, which is the 4th book in the saga.
Yes.
So,
and I do want to give a shout out to all of you indie supporters out there that have been subscribing to the show. Thank you so much. We had several subscribers this week. Look for the up and coming thank you show, the shout out show. But I just want to say we appreciate you, because the more people that subscribe to this platform, the more that our guests have a bigger audience to reach to. So we do appreciate you. And if you like this episode, please give us a thumbs up. If you're watching, please participate in the chat. If you have any questions for our guests that are coming up soon, don't be afraid to ask. I will always spotlight the questions. But yeah, so we're definitely very appreciative of everybody. Thank you.
Yeah. And big shout out to actually a couple of indie friends that have Kickstarters going on right now.
A whole lot.
They're about halfway through. Yeah, yeah. Keith Murphy. Who's been down with the craze for a hot minute.
The Road to Valhalla.
He's got a book called The Road to Valhalla. Issue number 2 is on Kickstarter right now.
Yeah.
So search that up. Go to Kickstarter, search Road to Valhalla or KJ Murphy, and you will find his book. Pledge today. They're about halfway through on what they're trying to collect as far as their goal is. And also, J.M. DeSantis also has a Kickstarter right now. It's called Chadiana. It is his own his IP, his intellectual property. So he's got that going on. So check both of those guys out. Really cool dudes. They're doing big things. So let's help those guys get to their goal. And October's a busy month for Kickstarters. Daphne Lage was on the show last night.
She's also a sponsor of the Craze.
She's a sponsor of the Craze, friend of the Craze.
Killing it.
Yep. She's trying to reach her second stretch goal at this point, I think, for $3,500, and she's a couple of dollars away. Like, she's right there. So there's a lot going on. And we're happy to help all of our fellow indies reach their goals. So we've been getting bombarded with requests to be on the show. So now Sam's going crazy. Trying to manage all of that.
It's like everybody on the planet Earth decided to have a Kickstarter, and at the same time. So there's like so many talented people out there that are reaching out to get on the show, and we're trying to accommodate everybody. But it'd make it easier if you're watching an independent creator and you want to get on the show. When you hit me up on a DM, I'm going to ask you to send all information via an email address. Please use the email address, because you make it difficult for me if you're sending it via Twitter, you're sending it via Facebook. There's too many locations for me to go to, because I am getting hit up from Reddit, from TikTok, from Twitter, from Instagram, from Facebook, from Snapchat. So I'm getting it from everywhere. So I don't want to have to keep going, where did this person send me the information to? So please send it directly to the email that we provide to make it easier, because we put you in a folder, we archive it, we have to pull from that information from there. When we don't have that, it makes it a lot more difficult to organize everything.
Yeah, remember, it's important to send it to that email address, because if you don't send it to that email address, we can't confirm the show.
Right.
So just because you hit Sam up or myself up on social media, that doesn't guarantee a spot show. The email does. So make sure you send that email, because then Sam can send you a confirmation. Okay, you're confirmed for this date. Yeah. Or whatever it may be. And then there's only one line of communication at that point, or one source that we're using, and we're not all over the place. And we've had conversations like, did he? Where did he hit you up? Did he hit you up? Oh yeah, I think it was on on it.
And then their real names are not
me here.
aligned with their social names.
Confusing.
It gets crazy. But Daphne actually broke the 3,500 mark.
Oh, nice.
She got 107 backers and 3,529 she's raised already. So she has 6 days left. So she's killing it.
All right.
I like to think that her being on that live show yesterday helped.
Well, listen, big shout out to Philip Myra, who was on the show yesterday, also live, and he actually funded his campaign live on the show yesterday. So that was cool to see. He made his goal live on our show, and big shout out to him for his anthology called Crackle. So if you haven't checked that out, go into the archives and check out yesterday's episodes. We had a couple of goodies, so check those out, man. But Spooky T2I, who is 1/3 of the crew of TechniGods, is in the chat. He's saying they're on their way, so they're almost here. And we'll keep chatting up about what's going on, because we have a lot going on, Sam. We have the Kickstarter / Indiegogo, and a whole bunch of stuff. Creating Chaos. What's going on?
What's going on? Yeah, man. There's a party going on right here.
Oh, yeah, it's a party,
A celebration to last throughout the year.
Road to 1,000, baby. So we're at 437 right now. We're trying to hit at least 500 before the end of the month. And hopefully before the end of the year, by some miraculous occurrence, we reach 1,000. That's going to be amazing. It'll be a nice Christmas present for us. So
yeah, Johnny's acting up. Here, Johnny, I got this for you.
He sent you a messenger. Nice. But yeah, no, so it's been good. It's been good. The show is growing slowly but surely. We're on the grind.
Yes.
Every Friday we're on there. So,
yeah, that's right. On the 27th, we're hanging with Raging Cajun.
Raging Cajun, that's right.
Yes, we're hanging. Right. We got a special pate.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Yeah,
George, are you dressing up, George?
Well, I think that's part one of the records, right?
I know, but I gotta see this. I gotta see what you're wearing,
bro. Quick. I mean, we'll have to figure out what we're gonna whip up. What are you getting dressed up about?
Hold on 1 second. He's asking for a code.
Oh no.
Let's see. There's no meeting code. Just hit the link. Let me see. Let me see. Oh, hold on. Oh, sorry. Get out of here. Give me this. Let's go to email. Default email. What's the code? Here we go.
That air is bad. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulty. I don't know what the heck Sam is doing over there. But
our guests are having complications getting on.
But yeah, so stay tuned, because the 27th we're having a Halloween special between Raging Cajun, aka Meredith, and Anita, and we're going to be doing our thing. We're going to get dressed up. It's going to be a nice, fun show for everybody. So make sure you tune in on October 27th. It's going to be a crossover. So we're probably going to be, I don't know how we're going to work this out, but we'll be streaming, I guess, from both shows. So if you go on their show, you can see us. If you come on our show, you can see them. We'll figure it out. But that's going to be fun.
Oh yeah, because you could do it. You could do a dual stream. So whoever creates the link, the stream will send a link to the other, and then we'll have a simulcast.
There you go. We're going to be having a simulcast. It's going to be fun.
I got you, George. I got you.
There you go. You're back. You figured out what was going on.
No te mueves, cabroncito.
No te muevas. Yeah, man. So yeah, it's going to be good. So we have a lot of stuff planned for the rest of the month. Shows are coming in heavy. Fast and Furious. It's all kinds of stuff going on over here.
All kinds of stuff. So we have one of the 3 already in the waiting room. We're waiting for the squad. So Allie is in the waiting room. Slytherin. Nice, Allie Slytherin. So it's exciting. We're basically almost booked for the rest of the year. It's crazy. A lot of campaigns. Tons of campaigns. So much so that I had somebody ask me, do you have guests on that don't have campaigns? I was like, you haven't watched our show? What's up with that, homie? Yes, we do. Yeah. So you don't have to have a campaign to come on the show. It just happens to be that everybody who landed on the planet decided to have a campaign. So that's just the way it is.
Yeah, that's right. So I mean, we can start with Allie if you want. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
so
there's
but
three of
we're
them,
gonna actually
and,
we got two in the we got everybody's there. So okay, so if you have a campaign and you want to promote your campaign and you find that you can't always be on a podcast, but you want to get your voice heard, why not?
Are you sitting at home wondering how you're going to spread the word about that Comic-Con that you're about to appear at, and you want to get some press? How about your first book signing? How do you spread the word so you can get an audience there? Or that first panel at a Comic-Con? Who do you talk to? Or even your first crowdfunding on Kickstarter or Indiegogo? The world is turning to podcasting to get the word out. Why not you? Sponsor an episode of Catch the Craze and start promoting yourself today.
Okay, we're bringing in our guests. Here they come.
Connection.
The squad's in the house.
look at them together. Look at that.
Hey, hey.
Allie, they left you all alone over there. Huh? Look at these
Yeah,
guys.
I know. They're noobs, that's why.
It was like, how do you do this Zoom code? And I was like, I don't know how to do the code. This man just got no code.
Oh man, well, welcome, guys, and for everybody watching, this is the crew that created this book right here, TechniGods. A very fun, easy, quick, fast read. I like easy reads, and this is just that. It's packed with a lot of action. We're going to talk all about the book itself, but guys, why don't you introduce yourselves to the audience? We'll start with you, Allie, since you were there first, and these guys are all together.
Ladies
hanging out,
first.
holding hands over here. So go ahead, Allie. What do you got? So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved with the project.
All right. Well, I was actually the last one brought in to the project with the guys. I came in as kind of like at first as like a consultant because I was the nerdiest. And then I ended up falling in love with the project and started helping with the writing. And now I'm, I guess, lead writer. My name's first, so in the writing part. It's really the only thing I do there. I've been learning how to do other things, but as of right now, I do most of the writing. And then I don't know how to use commas and periods in my sentences, so I have lots of editing also.
Well, listen, you guys have been doing a good job. So far, so good, Allie. You're holding it down. I'm gonna move down. We're gonna save you for last, Mike, because you know you've been tormenting us for a very long time here on the show. So we'll save you for last. But go ahead, Rob. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Rob. How'd you get involved and you know all that stuff?
We've got Rob Flanagan, aka Spooky T2I. That has been the art handle for it's over 2 decades now, and Mike had basically a parent project that kind of spurned this. And about 10 years ago, he and a colleague contacted me because we went to high school together. And he reached out and he was like, oh, I know a guy who's an artist. Can you help me design, I think it was like half a dozen characters for a potential idea for like an indie video game, right? And that was just what got us talking. And then over the years of just bouncing ideas back and forth and kind of seeing where like, okay, this one project it has like a number of kind of limitations, but then how can we use these stories we're creating? Because as we were kind of running up against like, okay, where should we go with this? Where should we go with that? We were still simultaneously building backstories and characters. And all of a sudden we have this wealth of information and it's like, well, let's use our strongest suits. It's like, okay, writing, editing, artwork. So it's like, all right, where does that lead us to? There's one medium there that's screaming out for us to kind of turn this into one direction that was towards like a comic book or something graphic. And then we're like, all right, let us do that. And that's kind of what brought me in. So I'm like the freelance artist primarily who it's, I do like work with bands and album covers and t-shirts but then it's like when people are like, oh, so what are you really doing right now? I was like, this comic book. I was like, all right, I had another little, I don't know, hat to put on when I need to. And it's like, all right, now the comic book is I wake up and I'm like, I gotta get that page done.
That's what's up, man. And then finally, Mike. So we've you've been coming on the show, not coming on the show, but on the comment section. You've been in there cracking us up with all of your, antics and the things you say. Tell us a little bit about you and I guess wrap this whole thing in a bow with the whole TechniGods creation for us.
Well, I mean, I know you guys through Annabelle, obviously. Annabelle put me on to you guys, and
I see him in the chat.
I've been, talking to him for years about my project, and we worked together, and we were talking about, I don't know, I just was sitting one day thinking about this. I was actually listening to a review on it on another show, and they were talking about how like they don't make original video games anymore, and it's like they were talking about particularly Street Fighter 4, and they were like, oh, it's just a remaster of Street Fighter 2 or whatever. So I was sitting there trying to come up with a different, like, what would they do to make it different? And I came up with this crazy notion. I called one of my best friends up, talked about that, and we got together and we started writing things about making this game or whatever. And then all of a sudden, like, we just realized, like, we're not going to be able to make this game. We're going to have to do something else, So obviously I contacted Rob here to do some art. And later on, we attached Allie to the stories because she was like very into like geek culture stuff. So, pretty much
brought in an expert.
Yeah, just brought in an expert of the geek culture, and then this just like snowballed into a comic book. We talked to like a professional about the game, and they said, well, why don't you start building an audience with a comic book? So we decided to go with like a comic book genre.
Yeah.
So
I remember talking to Anibal because he did mention your name. He said, "Yo, I got a coworker who's got a really," and he loved the title of the book, TechniGods. Like, it's such a cool title. Where did it come from? Where did the title TechniGods come from?
Oh, like that was a journey into itself. We basically had filler terms for a lot of things for certain, let's say, villains or groups from the video game, the original script for the video game characters. So we would literally use just like a couple like I want to say throwaway terms, but we had like a villainous group, and we literally called them the Syndicate, even though like how many times have you had Syndicate mentioned in video games? I mean, there's a Syndicate everywhere. So we're like, all right, that's a filler. And then we had this term for this kind of looming threat from basically like the future and the past. I don't want to spoilers.
We were calling them they were technological gods. That's what they're basically.
Right, and we're like, that doesn't pop.
And
right?
so we were just like gods, and we obviously like that never occurred to us to be the name of the comic. Our working title was Project RD, and it was like loosely termed. That was actually a placeholder of a thing called Project Real Definition. And so we changed it like one day. I was just like, well, why don't we just use
that term? And then it was almost, it was like like as soon as we said, like, why don't we use that term as the name of that we had book? Yeah. Why didn't we think about this 6 to 8 months ago? That's the catchy term.
It was, and then it took maybe a whole 6 hours to decide whether or not we wanted the dash or not is in the word.
I was going to ask you about that dash. So you guys went with the hyphen.
Yeah.
Why?
We just figured since we literally took away a portion of technological, we're like, let's give credence to that little.
That it works for the I don't know if you guys are familiar with. I'm sure you guys are familiar with SEO, search engine optimization. But that really works for Google very well. So if you type in TechniGods, boom, it pops right to the top of the screen. It is like #1 hit, like all the time. So that's why basically we did that.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, and I know you guys just launched the website maybe a couple of weeks ago, right? October 1st. Yeah. How's it going? How are you guys finding the responses to the website and all that other fun stuff?
I mean, we're hitting other countries. We're already in Portugal, Argentina, Poland, Sweden. It's Australia. It's really cool. Like it was a really good experience so far. A lot of good feedback so far, and that review Sam did was great.
Well, listen, Sam's got a big problem with one of your main characters, which we're gonna talk about. We're definitely gonna talk about that. But before we even get into that, take me into the writing room, right? Because I know it's. Sam and I, we're working on a project together. I work with Jonathan Syfax on a project that we're working together. So having two writers in a room, I love the dialogue in the book. It's very fresh. take us into that room, and I'll start with you, Ali. How is it working with Mike, and then Mike, how is it working with Ali, and how does that dynamic work? Well, we'll start with you, Ali.
Well, to start, I mean, like all of us really kind of help. What I have them do for me is give me bullet points on what they expect to see in whatever issue that I'm writing. Right now we're finishing up 5 and working on 6, but so it's like, okay, I know where I'm supposed to be at this point in this issue, so I need to make sure that I get to these points. And then it's kind of weird. I have like maybe weeks or even a month or so where I just don't write anything, and then one day everything will click all at once. I'll get one idea and that'll flush everything out all at once. But again, I write in long sentences. And then that's when everything that I write then gets kind of dissected in a sense of making it so that way it's translated into a storyboard for Rob then to take over. And then also the dialogue kind of gets checked, because there's certain characters, like I'm not as good with Biggs and Wedge dialogue. Sometimes I'm good with it. I'm great with Val and Leslie. Maybe because I'm a woman and they're women, not sure. But and then doing these random one-liners that are just that like hit home. Kind of like the opening of the book, where it says he is not a hero, which was one of the things that I had done. And then
I picked up on that one quick.
Yeah. and that was actually a really big debate with the three of us on whether or not he is a hero or not a hero, and if he himself would consider him that. So it is going through that, and a lot of it is a lot of wall balling, whether it's just me talking to myself out loud, wall balling, or me talking to them, and then they can help. And sometimes I actually brought it out just to show you guys for action scenes, because I'm not necessarily good. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but I'll draw it out as best as I can to make sure that what I'm visualizing kind of makes sense. So I use a lot of mediums. Sometimes I use a lot of anime references. In the second book, there's a Jurassic Park reference. Whether or not, I'm sorry, not in the second book. In the first book, there's a Jurassic Park 3 reference. If you picked up on it or not, that's we'll see.
You have to put those drawings in the trade paperback when you do those.
Okay.
Yeah, behind the scenes.
Well, that's not for this book. I'm not going to spoil which book those drawings are for, but
cool.
We'll put them in just for you.
It's funny that you say, Biggs and Wedge is not something that you kind of like that. Because as soon as I read those lines, I thought of you, Mike. I was like, yeah, that's something Michael would totally say in the heat of battle. So what's your and not so much, well, I guess involvement, and also how is it working with Ali on the book itself? I'll ask you the same question, Mike.
Ali's the best to work with. I'm not gonna lie. She's really fun. She really holds you true to what you're gonna write. Like if I write something dumb, she will call me out on it. We were doing something with I don't want to say that because I'll give that stuff away. But I had one particular thing I put out and she called me out on it. I'm like, the next, I was like, no, that's gonna be great. And then like I sit back like another day and I'm like, all right, maybe she's right. Like she's pretty good with that kind of stuff. But with Biggs and Wedge, I really think that it's just you have to have fun in this. Like this is a horrible scene that's going on in this show. Like in the show, the book.
It felt like a show.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah.
In my head, it's a movie. So.
Well,
yeah.
It's, the minutia of it.
Yeah, it's like it's a video game / movie, and then to make this into a comic book, it's like, so I needed people so you can relate to the comedy part. Like they have to have fun, otherwise they're gonna. Like we even say it in one of the lines in the second book, like they'll lose their minds. Like they're going through some real stuff that happens. Like
gallows humor.
Yeah,
or
the
exactly. Trench humor, where
it
became notorious, where people would be. Waiting in the gallows about to be strung up, and they'd be cracking jokes while the rest of the people in the crowd are like, why are these guys having the most fun? Or people in the trenches of World War I were notorious for basically yelling jokes across no man's land at the opponent, the enemy, and they'd be joking back as like, if you didn't, right, everyone would lose their mind. And it's kind of, it's a balance, especially like, they have their big discussions and debates with different dialogue, and then usually I'll interject from either, because like Ali said, she does the kind of like stream of consciousness dump, so I'll get like 2 pages and a bunch of like historical photos and color swatches, and then Mike will put his spin on his interpretation. They start getting it, and then usually I'll come in and I'm like, all right, semicolon, and then the little things like where if I see a character and it says didn't, and I'm like, that's the person that says did not. They wouldn't say did. But little things like that where I'm like, oh, remember that character is from let's say this region, so use this word instead, because that would be kind of more of a local dialect or lingo. Little things like that I'll interject to kind of flush them out.
That's good.
Before we move forward, I just want to acknowledge that there's a lot of chatter and a lot of supporters in the chat rooms.
nice.
So we have Creators Outlet. We have Johnny Syfax, Anibal Arroyo, we have Anita from Creating Chaos. Let's see, we have Vincent Samartino in the audience. Anibal Arroyo, I said that. Chris Fisk in the house. Catherine Turon. A lot of people in the house, and let's see. So we have Anibal. Who said it? Someone just asked. So we're gonna put you on the spot, Michael. Yes, Anibal says, "Give the elevator pitch."
It's like the toughest course. You don't know. Like, we've been trying to figure that out for years. Like, what is the pitch? Like. We've always had, like, what do you think the pitch is?
How's it feel to be in the hot seat?
It's kind of like we've seen so many times, like the post-apocalyptic storyline, and post-apocalyptic storylines are a part of human culture. Trying to predict the future bad, and then putting some sort of spin on whether comedic or tragic or making a learning experience, as humans do. We are doing so, but we're doing so knowing that that is something that humans do all the time in story writing. So we have our tongue like firmly planted into our cheek, but the characters in the story are taking it seriously, and we're taking those characters seriously. Because a lot of times people write kind of post-apocalyptic supernatural storyline, and they're not taking their character seriously, and eventually you can pick up on that. We're not going to do that. Our characters are taking things seriously, even the funny ones.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. I actually have a 3-part question for you guys. So part 1 is, I love that you guys put us right into the action, right? There is a story before the story actually starts, but you guys don't tell us that story. You guys put us right into the action. Whose decision was that? Part 2 of that question is, will we see that pre-story in an issue 0 maybe? And then part 3 is, Mike, do we have to buy issue 0 to read issue 1 and 2?
We need 0. I don't know.
Thank you, George. You see, we roll deep over here too. That's what I'm saying.
Issue 0. That's a good question, though.
That was a big debate.
Here's the thing. Like, we have a web series coming out too, and that is basically basically episode 0.
That's
it's
way before
that's like negative 50.
That's the hard part, right? Like, where do you start?
Yeah.
We tentatively started at 3 points. Like, we basically flushed out about 3 books, and then realized this isn't where we should start. So we kind of restarted going, all right, let's save that story, because that's an element of the grand story that we want to tell. We went to another point from basically the point of view, or basically focusing on a couple different characters, not the ones you see, but they would have been involved in the story. And then we got about 2 stories into that one. Now this isn't the way. And we kind of circled back around and go, all right, let's dump us off right after the event, not just before it, and then not in the kind of further past it. That was a debate, actually. We started 3 times, and then we finally had.
Yeah.
Then we had 2 books of that. Like, when we started, we had 2 more books of that. So that was kind of
Jesus.
And that was it was a real debate. Like, okay, we have so much information. As I said, we developed characters and backstory. And went, where? And then once we kind of said, why don't we hit them right here? Because in essence, an aspect of this story is we're very used to now it's almost like a trope where when the S hits the fan, there is this group of people, right? The experts, the elite, the superheroes that know exactly what to do to save the day. We also have those expectations in the real world with certain, like, powerful groups or entities that even if we think they're bad, we expect them to know what they're doing. And since the reader doesn't know what the story is, right? They're being introduced to this almost like in a shocking fashion. We also cue in the reader that the people who were supposed to know what to do during an apocalypse and what to do when everything goes wrong in the end of the world, they don't know how to do it either. That the people who now have been looked to and expected to save the day, they weren't prepared either. So they're just as lost. So you're kind of taken aback by, like, what is happening? Well, you're kind of living vicariously through them, trying to piece it all together too, because they're kind of like, well, we're completely out of our element, and we're supposed to be the ones knowing how to handle this.
Yeah. Ali, you were going to say something. I think I caught you had something. Were you?
I was just going to comment that I think we rewrote the first book, including the scenes, like where it was going to take place, I think 3 times over. That's one of the main reasons that we rewrote the second one, which was going to be a battle at Hastings, which was like this giant hill, is we had, sorry, my cat hair decided to explode apparently in front of me. We had a debate on whether or not it would make sense for them to start where they were. So we really wanted to make sure that everything that happened not only worked as far as the storyline, but like worked in real life too. Like I did actual research on whether or not a bomb could help blow up the building, because the building is an actual bank building in London. So I'm probably sure I can never go to London because I've been searching that. But we try to do like actual increments to make this stuff real, and as parallel to the real world as possible, which you'll see some references later on where you're like, that name sounds kind of familiar. Oh, that's just a play on words.
Well, you guys changed the name though, right? So it's HSCB instead of what it would normally be. Yeah.
So exactly with the bank, it's the same thing, but you'll see that more going through, and especially in the web series, and it's all parallel.
Yeah, no, I love it. I mean, I think that putting us right into the action versus giving us a whole, starting in the middle, I guess, kind of works for this, because you're in the S, right? You're in it. You're like, holy, how are they going to get out? Of course, Sam had an issue with one of the characters, Cliff, for example. So Sam, you wanna ask him what the deal is with Cliff, or what?
He's a reject version of Yeho.
Wow.
So I'm like, wait, hold on. They're building him up. This is good. This guy's gonna get us to the promised land. This guy's a mixed breed, all this other stuff, and I'm like, and then as soon as it pops off, he faints. He's out. He's out of the fight. And then who saves everybody? The woman. She's a badass. I love her character. And he's sleeping, and then he wakes up when it's over. I'm like, are you kidding me?
You really had a problem with it.
How was your nap? How was your nap? It's like, you know what? Right? Feed him to the zombies. Give him away. I was like, you crazy? I said my piece.
That was part of the debate too. Yeah, we knew we wanted to have this element that, how they explain, like, Cliff is compromised, but we also we're aware that in kind of contemporary comics and kind of contemporary, let's say, comic related television shows, movies, there is a quiet trend to kind of demean or belittle your main character. I see that a lot, where you see like the main character is always playing like second fiddle to the new sidekick, or they get disrespected. And it's like, we didn't want to do that, but we wanted to show that their leader, who is the one capable of saving the day and leading them, was unaware that there is something in him that is now a detriment to everybody. And it's like, and that kind of that bizarre dream state he was thrown into, that's something that will become something he has to deal with.
Right.
And the people around him will have to start considering, is our leader able to lead us?
Is he gonna go have dreams every time we get into a fight?
Well, we're not going to spoil it for you.
I'm just saying.
You read
I
book
did-
2, right?
We
He's not a fainting goat.
He's like,
we did warn you that he is not a hero, so you shouldn't really be that surprised.
That's what I said, Ali. I said, listen, I said, I don't know how serious Sam is being. I guess he is, because this really bothered him. And I think you guys did a good job, because if he reacted that way, it's because you guys really touched
I
the
do
nerve.
want to
And
say that if you type
Bonnie-
in the Google search engine, if you type in Google TechniGods comic, the first thing that comes up is the What's in the Box.
Nice.
Yes.
This guy always needs a spotlight. God, it's about them right now.
Yes, it's about
them.
TechniGods.
It's like, it's fine.
It says
fine.
TechniGods, What's in the Box. What a great
Oh my
promotional piece.
God.
Just because you're in the closet, don't hate. But go ahead.
So listen, I'm okay. This is about these guys right here down here. These
Yes.
3 creators. That's what it's all about. It's about
Yes.
them. The spotlight is on them right now.
We wanted to invoke that in Sam too. Like the reader has to feel that. Like
Right.
we want people to understand.
And that's
Not
why
just
hats
you.
off. You guys did a great job, because
Yeah, no, it was good.
it drew me into it.
Good.
Yeah, no,
know.
definitely. And guys, I just want to mention also, Red Queen Leah is on here, and she's had great things to say about she loves the title. She says, I like the name and it sounds pretty sweet. My nerd brain likes. She also went on to say that she was involved with a comic news show, so this is very nostalgic, and she loves this kind of stuff. So you guys have a fan there, and there is a lot of chatter in the
Yes, we have.
the
Yeah,
chat
she
room, so that's
joined.
awesome.
Russ Explode joined. James DeSantis joined. So I mean, thank you all for supporting our indie creators, the squad of TechniGods.
Yes. So this is a 6-issue. Is it a mini series? Is it like, okay, we're just doing the first 6 issues is the first arc of it, and there's going to be a continuation, or how are you guys handling the story from the first 6 issues on?
Potentially, it would be the first arc. We would like to continue on with the story. I don't know if I can say what we're planning after the first arc as far as what's coming out, but it's definitely a lot has like we've already said, a lot has been already written, and so the information is already there for us. We just have to kind of dissect it to put it into comic book form or whatever media we decide to go from here, depending on how well it does. Yeah, it's definitely a large story that you can get invested into for we hope for a while.
Oh, that's awesome. And then I just had a question about the setting of the story. Now I know it's set in Europe. It's set in London, in England, and you're talking about traveling into France. Why did you guys choose that part of the world versus maybe the Caribbean or even North or South America?
We can't tell
Why
you.
there? You can't.
Tell you.
You can't tell me any. She's like, I can't tell you that. I'm sorry.
She says, "You know what? Stop asking
Next
questions."
question. She's like, next question. Next question.
Actually, it's part of the whole thing of where we were supposed to start the book.
Yeah.
Like going back to that. And,
Okay.
I know for a fact that I wrote 2 of the first books, one in New York City alone,
Okay.
and then we just had a brainstorm, and we decided just London is the spot.
Okay.
And
Gotcha.
And there's reasons. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Can I ask about the channel? Can I ask about that? Is that all right?
Yeah.
Can you do it? The channel. Can you tell us a little bit about? Can you tell us about the whole channel concept and the channel idea, and explain to the audience what the hell I'm talking about?
Yeah, the channel is a tunnel. It's a train system going from England to France, Folkestone to Calais.
Mhm.
And we basically were trying to figure out an idea of how they're going to get to France. And they obviously, when you read the first book, you realize they can't go by sea, and they're getting attacked by the air. So how do you get from France, from England to France? And I researched that, and I seen the channel, and I looked that up. Nobody really knows what the channell is, which is insane. Like over here on this side of the pond, nobody knows what that is.
I refused to go through it when I was there. I was like, I'm going to take the ferry. I don't want to be underwater that long.
But when I discovered the channel, because I too was ignorant of the channel, Sam, it was not a list. When I found out about this channel, I'm like, we can have like a whole book of them just crossing through the channel, and it's it's a perfect setting for our book.
That's
Honestly.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the second issue for those listening. That whole channel thing happens in the second part of the book, which the art was the cover was drawn by Mr. Aníbal Arroyo, who's in the audience listening to the show right now. Arroyo's
That's it.
Yes, indeed. But I'm excited for you guys. I really enjoyed both issues, and so my question is for Rob now. When are we seeing issue number 3? What's going on with issue 3?
We have right now. There are 6 pages left, and they're kind of a split between ones that are getting penciled and inked, and then we're going to have our colorist Alexander, who's amazing, just make them glorious. And then there's at least 3, maybe one more, of those dream sequences that obviously are very popular, but those are the ink and watercolor ones. So I'm going to, even though numerically one comes before the other, going to get the pencils and inks done first, send them over to our colorist, then knock out those dream sequences. That's all on me.
Mm-hmm.
And we pretty much, if right now we're starting to letter, and
book 3 is
we're already starting to letter the finished pages. So we should probably, I think, but I say late November.
I hope so.
Yeah, between printing, proofing, and having that out, I would say before Christmas. Available definitely before Christmas. So I'm looking forward to that. And we've already, actually just 2 days ago, we got secured the artist for the cover of book 4. If you notice, we wanted to have a couple things that were like staples in our thing. So our back cover is always this mysterious symbol. Interior back cover is going to be the coming soon, in progress artwork of the next cover. We realized I had a person that was interested in doing the cover work, but just because of delays with the copyright and just COVID, all things related to people's jobs, there was a little bit of a delay, and then he got real hung up. So he's probably going to be available for a later book, and I kind of just made a couple quick moves, and we got the artist Gus Fink, also known as Horror Whore, on
Yes, I know who Gus is.
Instagram. Yep, and,
very popular.
Yeah, and Gus and I bounced some ideas off each other, and I was like, this it's a real interesting setup horror theme. And spun, and he went, yeah, we're gonna get an incredible watercolor, I'm imagining, from him.
Nice.
So that is coming, and just once 3 is done, then it's going to be, like an assembly line, right? We took so long setting this up, and now it's like it's going to be pencils, inks, letters, arts. Everybody volleying back and forth, and I think the team is ready, especially now that the website is real, the book is at, you can physically hold the first 2 books. Now it's like, oh, now it's in our hands. All right, let's make this happen.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I was looking through your website, and you have a lot of things that are coming up. I mean, the web series you guys spoke about, it's coming. You also have the TechniGods. So you're gonna have like a podcast situation happening. So that's awesome. And I guess we're gonna get all news about the books and the comics that are coming out. Tell us a little bit more about the Godcast.
Allie.
What? No, it's your idea.
It was really like just to keep in what everyone has a YouTube video. Like everyone has a channel now. So I figured I don't think it's going to be weekly. Like I think it'll be like just to keep people updated for our comic books. Yeah. Like, we're all busy. We all have second jobs. We're all broken entrepreneurs, and we're trying to just do our thing.
That's awesome. And then as far as conventions and interviews and things like that, what do you guys have? Anything lined up? Anything you're thinking about maybe next year, or what's the plan for that?
Definitely next year. Like absolutely, we're gonna hit probably every convention that we possibly can do.
I've reached out to a couple.
We're gonna do PAX. Allie's just not gonna be part of that.
I won't work PAX, but I'll go to PAX.
Nice.
I know we're supposed to also try to get into the Stash, the comic book store.
Oh, yeah.
That's
great.
In their new location, and there's this. Pretty much we had these like weird moments where just important life things were happening, or just simple things like the real long delays with our copyright and trademark, where we would get word back from, the government about like, oh, can you please change this one tiny little thing for us? Make the change immediately. And then like 6 months will go by and they're like, okay, you're approved to take this next step. And it's like, give us the stuff. and just little delays like that. And
That was a grueling process.
And another issue is too that I think from artist standpoints, and this is from writing art in any art in general, the no artwork is ever really finished. So when these delays would happen, we also had a couple delays because like our colors right now, Alexander, is incredible, right? And I think we have a really good balance between my kind of like messy organic pencils and inks and his color. I think they work well together.
Yeah.
And he is actually the third colorist because as we were progressing through, we had a colorist, guy was on, but then things happened, right? And wasn't able to complete it. And then we interviewed another one, and this, as we finally got to,
we went to like we got someone from Mexico. They sent us a couple, she colored it for us. That was a little rough, but we finally settled on this guy now.
Right, and just those delays of okay, just can you begin your colors now to get caught up? The idle hands art thing was. Then of course the writers go, we can rewrite this part of the script, and then it's like, well, I guess I could probably fix that page. And it's always if your art is in like stasis, you'll always find a reason to go back and tweak it. The writers will always go back and go, we can change that line, and then in your mind you're always telling yourself, oh, I'm improving it, but you're also putting yourself like that one step forward, two steps back. Of preventing yourself from actually getting rid of the artwork. Like, if I finish a painting and I sell it, it's actually done. If I finish a painting at my house, it's never done because 2-3 years later I could go, I'm at a little purple with that, and we were kind of doing that with
and then you have 3 people looking at his art, so we're constantly like critiquing what we want to do,
And now we're in a good place now because we were just little hindrances of just life in general, like people moving, people having kids, new jobs, and when one person was kind of, hey, I'm gonna have a couple busy weeks or months, another person would go, I'm gonna fix that little thing right there, and then we'd all of a sudden start getting like real focus on a section that we probably were done with, and then we're like, all right, we almost had a big conversation about like we gotta stop doing this to ourselves because we keep nitpicking our own work, and you'll never get it out.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to hit the button, print
That's
it.
Print it. And Mike, you're doing some of the you're doing the flattening, right? The flattening on the pages.
Yeah,
you do
which,
that
by
part
the
of
way,
the coloring.
That does not get enough credit, by the way, in this industry. I noticed that flattening is you're like the stepchild, Like nobody cares what matters.
We were talking to Daphne Lage yesterday, and she actually was saying that she hired a flatter because that is the most intricate. You have to go into every like it's the most time-consuming part of the whole coloring process.
Hours,
the fun part of it is putting the shading and the shadows, and you have fun with that stuff. But the flatting is the actual,
I sit here and I like 3-4 hours to do a page. It's absolutely crazy. Yeah. But you sit there and you do it. It's for you. You're doing it for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you're trying to help the artist, the colorist.
Yeah.
And then you get a text message. Hey, I'll do it for $5. I'm like, are you kidding me? People are charging $5 a page for flatting. You guys are way underselling yourself. And
Mike is self-taught too. Like he went online, looked at tutorials, went to visit people's websites because we just as I'm doing the pencils and inks, we have this needed element of flatting, and Mike was like, all right, well, this is a job that needs to be done. And Mike went from writer to, now I flat comic books. So then you're self-taught. Allie is looking into flatting as well.
We're teaching Allie.
Yeah.
I'm trying to teach her a letter too, so that'll take some pressure off.
Everybody's doing multiple jobs because it's out of necessity,
Yeah.
We are.
I hear you. I have one final question from the guys in the audience. Anibal actually asked this question for you guys, for each one of you. Who is your favorite character in the story and why? So we'll start with you, Rob. Who is your favorite character and why?
all right, my favorite character in the story.
Character that they know.
Right, I'm gonna say so far. Yeah, because I can't mention they'll be there soon. But I am actually a very big fan of Cliff, and that was someone who, at first, I was interested in him, but now, granted, I know much more about this character and everybody else, but the complexities of this character and the juggling act of who he was and who he wants to be, and his relationships that are going to kind of be exposed through the story. He makes him a relatable person because he's not someone you'll be able to respect him, but maybe not look up to him. And I think that grounded character is who appeals to me. And you'll see why eventually.
All right, cool. What about you, Mike?
Wedge. Wedge is my favorite character.
Wedge is your favorite. Why?
Yeah, because he's just fun. He's he's the coolest. He's the coolest dude. He's like anything that goes down. He's all about like, I'm just gonna do whatever I gotta do to get past this next chapter in his life. You know, he's amazing. I love him.
Nice. And when we started this show, the first question went to you, Ali. So the last question is going to go to you now. Who is your favorite and why?
My favorite is Val. Aside from her being just a badass, writing her is a lot of fun. She kind of, when I write her, I think of like things that I wish I could do, that I would have the strength to do in this situation. So I kind of, I guess, filter through that, my feelings on like what I would do, like, oh, it would be so cool if I actually could do this in real life, kind of thing, or if I could turn around and tell someone like, come on guys, let's get to work. You know, she's just a strong character, and she's got her problems like every person does, but that's also part of why I like her. She doesn't, you'll find later, she doesn't really hide her flaws. She kind of just is who she is. Also, can I just say real quick, I'm sorry, Sam, they're harpies in the first book, not zombies. It really bothered me in the review that you kept calling them zombies when they had wings.
I was like, they were flying zombies. I was like, whatever, they're just scary as
harpies,
hell.
It's okay.
She was waiting. She says, I'm going to get that guy.
That was actually a big debate because we, as a group, had, I'd say, about a 3-week debate over, are these banshees or are these harpies? And it was like, are they banshees or harpies? Like, we need to define banshee and harpy.
They're just scary as heck. But Sergio Panov just ordered a set online, and he can't wait to get his copies.
Appreciate that. Yes, thank you so much.
Sergey. Sergey is someone I have worked with. He is a extremely talented musician, and I've been very blessed to do the covers for 2 of his music tutorial books for violin and viola, and he's got a cello tutorial book. And I'm like, you know what? We got a 3rd book cover coming.
Nice.
He's a good guy. Thank you, Sergey, man. Thank you.
Nice. Well, listen, we're gonna have to have you guys back on the show to dive deeper into a lot of the stuff, because this was just the surface stuff that we were talking about. You guys have so many things coming down the pike, and I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that you can't talk about. So I definitely want to have you guys back when, you know, obviously when more issues have come out and we can dive deeper into it. But thank you so much for coming out here and spending some time with us, you know, and thank you for clearing that up. Ali, they're harpies. Never again will they be called flying zombies. And yeah, hey Mike, we'll see you on the chat. Guys, I hope you guys enjoyed your time here and follow us. Keep listening to the show. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you all, and thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, please give us a thumbs up. Leave comments in the chat. Subscribe if you haven't done so. Let's get those algorithms working. Again, much success to you guys. You guys did a great job with these series. And with that said, we will be leaving. Thank you all in the chat room. And I'm Sam, the Crazy Man Vera.
George, the Dreamer Medina.
And we are out.
It's just easy. It's not.
Crazy. Acquiesce.
No, I was talking about my friend Acquiesce. I met him. Say my name, right?
This is what you were thinking? Oh,
You are listening to
He described me. He said, I'm the...
You're listening to Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. You are listening to Catch the Craze on Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze.
Bye.